Okay, guys, this is the 2020 SFFDL Super Bowl. The Toledo Wolves against the Virginia Vipers. And we are ready to get underway. Let me share this out. See if anybody wants to join me. It's a touchback. This is going to be, I would say, Toledo was favored by 10 points. Virginia's gotten here with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback, and Toledo has Lamar Jackson, and plus Toledo has like an excellent pass defense. So this is going to be like just about impossible. Here's a slant to Zach Ertz. Toledo's going to get the ball first, and right away they're on the move. Let's see. Virginia, I think, has average. No, average good. So at least they have a chance at some picks with the good pass defense. Toledo, on the other hand, is good, excellent. Both play a 4-3 base. So here you go. Like I said, I really think Toledo's going to just wipe out Virginia because the cards are such a big difference in cards. So Keith will have to call his ass off in this one to be able to come away with the victory. There's a good call. I'm going to call him first down. Miles Sanders is stopped with a 1-yard loss. 2nd and 11. And when you're in a situation like this where you're the underdog, the longer you can keep it close, the better. The other coach starts getting nervous, like, man, I should be winning. And then next thing you know, you have a chance to pull off the upset. There's a slack to Zach Ertz, and it's going to be a 1-yard must-run. Look at Lamar Jackson's must-run card. So that was like one of the few results that doesn't break for a first down. 2 through 7 is pretty much 10 plus. So, and some of those big ones could be really impactful on the splits. So 3rd and 10 at the 35-yard line. Toledo goes with a stays in a base formation, 2 tight end, 1 back set. Slant to Foster Moreau, and it's a fumble. Oh my goodness. It looks like Virginia's gotten the first break of the game. Not only did they sack Lamar Jackson, but they strip sack and take over. So, yeah, what do I know? Maybe this is Virginia's lucky year. Cinderella may not have to wind up waking up. It won't strike midnight for her at the ball. So they take over. Latavius Murray is one of the main backs. He has another one. Pitch left to Murray. And that will go for 3. Offensive onside in +3 or +8. And Luke Stucker did not make the block on the white die 5. So they have Gardner Minshew, Latavius Murray, George Kittle, very nice tight end, T.Y. Hilton, and Tyrell Williams. 3-3-5 defense showing on 2nd and 7. Quick out right to Kittle, being correctly double covered. And loses 2 yards. High chance of a pick there with the excellent pass defense. Third and 9. He's at the 31. You want to at least get 3 points out of this. Inside run draw to Murray. So he does try to get some of the yards back, but goes nowhere. So Butker comes lining up for a field goal. And it's bad. So he got the negative adjustment. And he can't take advantage of that first break of the game. Fly to DeAndre Hopkins, and boom, long gain on Lamar Jackson's on a unlikely roll of 3. But right, just like that, Toledo turns it around and says, sorry, this is not going to be your day. With a big play, Jackson's 2 for 2. He does have the strip sack fumble. Let's see, we should. Sterling Shepard, Hopkins, Moreau, and Ertz in the game, along with Miles Sanders, who runs for 2 yards. Tyke told me this is the first time in 10 years that the champion will not, the Super Bowl does not have either be me or him inside of it playing in the game. So that's pretty cool. Two new faces in the Super Bowl, each looking to come away with their first championship. That was a complete pass as Jackson looked for Shepard on a flat pass. So 2nd and 8. You see Lamar Jackson has these interception splits on 12. So you have to create your own interception chances by correctly double teaming, because you're not going to get it, or landing on the D card, because it's very unlikely to get it on Jackson's card guessed right. End run right to Jackson, and that's going to depend on the block. And he only gets 4. Zach Ertz is a 4, and it was a white die 6. So he'll settle for a field goal chance. Kai Forbath lines up with a much easier chance and knocks it through. So Toledo's up 3-0 early after the long connection. So that'll be the issue with Virginia today, is creating offensive chances with undermanned Cavs. Now, what I've seen is Toledo loves to call pass, even with excellent pass defense. So just keep running it until that changes. But look at all those 5s and 6s on defense. Not a single 4 anywhere there. Bomb to T.Y. Hilton. There's nobody up top, but it's guessed right. It's going to be a dump off for 18 yards. But Key says, I'm just not going to run it. I'm going to try to open it up a little bit. Gets the ball up to the 45. There are single game injuries, so that could play a part. But we haven't seen a run call yet from Toledo, so just keep passing, or just keep running it. There's one pitch out right to Murray. That's going to pick up 2. See, that's the other problem. But Keith has no run blocking to help support his running backs. Just center Brendon L is the only one that's a 5 or better. The other ones are 0s or 4s. But you get, that's the other running back. He has David Montgomery. So here we see Malik Collins 4-5 and Emmanuel Ogba 0-6 come into the game. It's a curl to Tyrell Williams, dressed correctly, 3-man in zone. %48 chance of a sack. That DeForest Buckner card is pretty intense. And we see the yak. It should have been a 5-yard pickup. Instead, it's a -1 loss because of yak. I don't like that yak rule. I'm really going to push for us to get rid of it. That would have been a 3rd and 4. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Or, sorry, it would have been a 3rd and 3. It just really randomizes things that shouldn't be randomized, in my opinion. 3rd and 10 against excellent pass defense, that's a tall order. And he double teams this receiver correctly, so forget it. They'll have to punt. So Brendon is the Toledo coach. He's calling a good game for him. He's got the lead, and he'll be getting the ball back. He's got a nice punt returner too, Deontay Johnson. +20 on 6. Touchdown on 3. Long. The D card gives you a long gain on, or the opponent's card gives you a long gain on 12. So look for punt returns to play a part in this. Halfway through the first quarter, 3-0 Toledo. Okay, he goes deep to DeAndre Hopkins. It's a run call, and it's incomplete. See, if you call it right, you get those must runs. So we see him opening it up. That's what he's used to. So I'm going to go to the coaches directory real quick. Toledo is Brendon L. 2nd and 10, that's Mark Long's son. He's a former champion. Let's see if he can join his dad as the first father-son combo to win championships. Curled to DeAndre Hopkins, he's double covered and complete. So Keith is not going to go down easy. 3rd and 10, he stays in that 2 tight end set. I don't like that because you give him a chance to double team out of the 3-5 with 2 guys. And take away Jackson's must runs. So he's double teaming Hopkins and Ertz. Instead, it's a pass to Shepard, but he's covered by the 6. So Jalen Ramsey makes the play, and Toledo will punt. If you go 3 wide, you give yourself more chances to get those must runs in play. It's a 54-yard punt. Jamal Agnew is the returner, and he takes it back 14 yards. So good field position for Virginia. They also have a touchdown too. So maybe we'll see a special teams touchdown today. See, and when he goes to the 3-3-5, just run it. There's no reason to do anything else. His inside run right behind that 5 center picks up 6 yards, and there's an injury. Sam Tevy, the right tackle, is out, and I don't think he has much depth there. Well, he gets Nate Sold, or Cam Robinson comes in, so he goes from a 4-7 to a 0-4. That's not going to help things. 2nd and 4, 4-3 showing blitz. Button hook to David Montgomery. Thrown out of 6. And he gets a receiver reading +7. Denzel Ward goes out. That's a big loss. He's a cornerback 5. So he goes from a 5 over there at left cornerback to a 0. So injuries do play a part. I want to get rid of injuries. I'm going to get rid of injuries, at least injuries in the playoffs. I don't think that's necessary. I don't like injuries in this game. Too randomized. Pitch out right to Latavius Murray. He picked up 6. 2nd and 4. Also, when the other coach is calling pass all the time, you get these runs. You can really use up the clock. Keep the ball out of his hands. Just keep the clock rolling. 2nd and 4, 2:42 to go in the first quarter. Inside run of Montgomery. So there, he's starting to catch on that, hey, if he's not going to call a run, I'm just going to keep running it. And he gets into field goal range now. We'll see if Brendon adjusts to that. Inside run to Murray. It's going to just keep pounding it away. Picks up 3. 2nd and 7. So dump offs and runs is how the Vipers are going to move the ball today. Left tackle to David Montgomery. That's going to be a 3-yard pickup. The defensive tackle there is a 6. 3rd and 4. He goes to a 3-3-5. It's flare left to Luke Stalker. Guessed wrong, and there's a 4 there only. But the receiver reading's incomplete, even guessed wrong. So we'll have to try for a field goal here. And that was a run call. We saw a key to Montgomery. So that's the first run call by Brendon. So it's good. A good sign that he's willing to call run. 3-3. So here comes Lamar Jackson and company. Wonder whose third wide receiver is. Pitch out right to Sanders. That's going to lose 2 yards as Nick Williams makes the play. Slant to Zach Ertz. It's covered by a 5. Defender extra plus 12, and the 5, Jared Wilson makes the play. So in the regular season, Toledo was 11-5, winning the AFC Dan Marino division. Virginia was 12-4, winning the NFC Dan Marino division. So 2 Marino division champions here. That's something that Jason did way back when he started the league. Named them the divisions after the NFL greats of old. 3rd and 12, down and out to Miles Sanders, single covered. It's going to be a dump off for 7, and Toledo will have to punt. So maybe I was a little too pessimistic about Virginia's chances here. Toledo's offense has struggled a little bit. Let's see if Virginia can put together another drive. 3-3, 13:48 to go in the half. Latavius Murray. And a blocking back set, inside a run. Guessed wrong. And he'll pick up 4. He just got a nickel and dime him down the field. Here comes Montgomery. Quick out left to Kittle. And that's the defender X, or linebacker in zone. He's a 5. And Jalen Ferguson makes a play. 3rd and 6. So Minshew, only 21 yards of passing so far. I don't think he's going to get a lot of yards today. Just that excellent pass defense is really tough to throw against. Royce Freeman checks into the game along with John Ross in a 3-wide set. Ross is covered by a 4. Freeman's covered by a 4, and Hilton's covered by a 0. Maybe that's the way you get big plays. Now you got that 0 covering. And a quick out left to Kittle. Freeman being doubled, and he's going to pick up 7 on Kittle's card. That's a first down. Take a shot deep with against that 0 at times. That's one avenue that Virginia can take advantage of. Bomb to Hilton. Single covered. 0 minute zone. And it's a dump off for 7. So that's it. You're going to take an occasional shot deep to Hilton, run the ball, and throw flats with Kittle. Or maybe throw short and hope for a dump off. Because his pass rush isn't that great. That's probably the only weakness on Toledo. Square out left to Tyrell Williams. I guess right for 7. So he's putting another drive together. Out to the 44. Post to Kittle. Guessed right. Covered by a 5. Receiver reading incomplete. 2nd and 10. Again, you're not seeing a lot of run calls, so I keep pushing that. That was a defensive end -4 +10. So he did try to run it. Quentin Jefferson makes the play, drops it for a 4-yard loss. So it's 3rd and 14. So a promising drive has gotten a couple of unlucky rolls, and they're now sitting at 3rd and forever. Quick slant to Kittle. Incomplete. So he'll have to punt it. Remember that Deontay Johnson card. Don't forget about that. The punt is blocked. So Toledo gets the next break of the game. A blocked punt that gives them the ball to 32. It's a 2-yard run up the middle by Miles Sanders. That's the strength of Virginia's defense, is those 2-5 defensive tackles. Quick out left to Moreau, and he's correctly double teamed. That is incomplete. Third and 8 at the 30. He wants to hold him to a long field goal chance here, or maybe get a sack and push him out of range. Inside run to Sanders. He's going to pick up 2. So Toledo just wants to make sure they stay in good field goal range. Unless they get a -5 or an addition of 5, they will be fine. Kai Forbath comes on. And the kick is good. Oh, it's not even that great of a chance. 2 through 7, 11, and 12. So but he got the roll he needed, and we're looking at 6-3, Toledo in the lead after that block punt. Each team is at an injury. Toledo's lost one of their starting cornerbacks in Denzel Ward, and Virginia's lost their starting right tackle. Sideline left to John Ross, and that's going to be incomplete. Now, this is interesting because Brendon has a mistake in his computer manager, I think. Not a mistake, but he has Lorenzo Alexander as the starting right linebacker when it should be Jalen Ferguson, the 5-4-6. Inside run draw to Latavius Murray, and that's going to go nowhere. No run blocking there to help. So 3rd and 10 suddenly. So maybe Keith noticed that he has a 4 against the pass that comes in on 3rd downs. There's no reason why Ferguson shouldn't be in there. Bomb to John Ross, covered by 4, 1 man in zone, guessed right. And that's going to be incomplete. Even with 0 men in zone, that's incomplete. So we'll have to punt. So that's what you get when you throw a lot against an excellent pass defense. Deontay Johnson takes it, and no yards on the return. Right next to that touchdown. So here we go. 6:18 to go in the half. The game, it's actually okay for Keith. If he can keep it to 6-3, within 3 points, that's kind of what you wanted to do. A curl to DeAndre Hopkins, guessed right, incomplete. Double team, but by a linebacker. Hopkins is a max receiver, of course. Down and out to Miles Sanders. Guessed right, incomplete. So Jackson's having a little bit of a tough time. But Jackson and Minshew are struggling in the big game. 3rd and 10. 4 wide by Toledo. 3-5 showing blitz. Bomb to Deontay Johnson. All out blitz coming. It's a 0-man in zone. Hits the receiver reading. Incomplete. That could have been a big one. It was a 64% chance of a sack. Jamal Adams against Miles Sanders, and he just missed it with a random 76. 64 and below, it would have been a sack. So 4th and 10, we'll see a punt. And that's not going to be returned down to the 21. .506 to go in the half. See, there's Jalen Ferguson. He should be in there on 3rd downs too. Pitch out right to Murray. It's going to pick up 5. Just keep running it. It takes up time. You got a chance of moving the chains. Let him adjust. Especially when he comes out like this. See, there's that 3-3-5 defense with Alexander as the right linebacker. Pitch out right again. Picks up 4. That'll set up 3rd and 1. The blocking back of Luke Stalker made the block this time. Otherwise, that would have lost 2 yards. Okay, so last time we saw him key Montgomery. This time he doesn't, and it's incomplete. Should have ran it. Hindsight's 20/20 though. And he'll have to punt. Fair catch. He avoids Deontay Johnson's big hits. So far, so good. 3:36 to go in a half. Again, just keep it close. Try to keep that Jackson card in check with correct double teams. Mix in a run call so Sanders doesn't hit you with a big long gain. There's a 6-yard run. When a run call would have been -4 there, but man, he's got that long gain on 3 you got to watch out for. Inside run to Sanders, going to pick up 4. So now Toledo's going back to the basics and running the ball. You can't have Sanders do everything. If he had gone line buck on that first run, it would have been a 65-yard carry. Like I say, it's so much easier to know what to call if you know the dice rolls in advance. Quick out left to Foster Moreau, and that's going to only pick up a yard. Oh, no, picked up 3 yards, excuse me. So 2nd and 7, 2 minutes. So gets a 2-minute warning now. Stays with a 2 tight end set. 2 tights, 2 wides. 3-3-5 defense. Pitch out left to Sanders, and he does call run. That's going to be a 0-yard gain. Nice call there by Keith, mixing it up. And that'll set up 3rd and 7. Sanders held in check today. 8 runs for 13 yards. Still 2 tights and 2 wides. Again, that gives him the chance to 40% chance to double team the correct receiver if he throws the ball and take away those must runs. Got to choose wisely here. Screen left to Sanders, and that's going to lose yardage. -4, -2, and he loses 4. So 4th and 11. Virginia uses a timeout. They'd love to drive down and at least tie this game up before the half. Hold on, I need to take a phone call. Hello? Yeah. Yes, this is Dennis. Okay. Yes, it's no problem. Okay, thank you. Bye. All right, I think we're back. Let's see. Yep, we're good. So 107 left, no more timeouts for Virginia. And it is 1st and 10 out to their own 30. They go, now he's really switched it up. So he did fix his 3-5 defense. There's a short pass to Kittle. Oh, now it's back to with a 4 over there. I don't know what happened there. Crossing pattern to John Ross. So he did have the 5 out there for one play. There's a 6-yard must run by Minshew. That'll set up a 3rd and 4. Let's see if he goes hurry up. You kind of have to with no timeouts left. Although you'd like to be able to give yourself an option to run here. If you had a big short gain runner for the outside. But he'll be looking to get a quick out left, trying to hit that against that 4, and he hits it. Short gain for 18 yards, and he's close to field goal range, does not get out of bounds. Got to spike it here with 15 seconds left. Give yourself one play to get into the better range and be able to spike it again. So let's see if he brings in Murray for an end run. Nope, he still stays with that 3 wide. He's going to try to hit that another flat pass over there. Quick out left to Kittle again, knowing he's not wanting to double team him. And that's going to pick up just enough yardage to get him inside the good range without having to worry about negative adjustment. So 3rd and 1, and he'll spike it. Here comes Butker. I think this is 2 through 9 now at this range. 2 through 10, so it's even better. So there you go, it's up and good. So 6-6 at the half. Virginia will get the ball first, so they're making this the kind of game they needed to win the Super Bowl. Ugly, sloppy, low scoring, lots of punts. Six. And the slobber knocker type of half. Got left to Kittle, so he's sticking with that. It's only going to pick up a yard. I still think he needs to run the ball. That's the key. 3-3-5 on third and second and long. Line book to Murray. No, pitch out right to Murray. Yeah, you're going to hit those short gains. That's the way to move the chains. Out to the 44. Here comes Montgomery, and Montgomery has some edge numbers that are pretty encouraging. Plus 25 on 2, plus 55 on 2. Off tackle and line book. That's the dreaded 5, though. That goes nowhere. You just got to keep pounding away, though. You'll eventually hit one of those big numbers. If he's going to give you that 3 wide, that 3-3-5 defense, you got to run him out of it. Off tackle right to Montgomery. And that's going to be an 18-yarder. So that's what you get. That's what you got to do. You got to, if he's showing you the 3-3-5, just keep running. Down to the 38. Off tackle right to Murray. Gastron picks up 6. See, that's how you do it. Just keep running. If he's going to call pass, just keep running. Inside run to Montgomery. Gastron's going to pick up 6. Another first down for Virginia. Minshew's already taken out Russell Wilson in the playoffs. Now he's going to take out Lamar Jackson. Is that possible? There's a run key. Finally, he's catching on. And that's going to be a stuff. That would have been only a 4-yard gain, but still, let's look at the playoffs for Virginia. Oh, I wanted to check this real quick. So, did Toledo and Virginia play? They did play. In the regular season, Toledo lost to Virginia 34-13. Whoa. So, Minshew's already beaten Lamar Jackson once. So that was a 2-yard loss on a second down run. It's 3rd and 13 at the 29. Again, you're at risk of pushing yourself into the bad field goal range here. Look for another flat pass to Kittle, trying to make hay against that 4 outside linebacker. No, it's a quick slant to Kittle. He knew it. He had the guy covered. Only picks up a yard, though. Here comes Butker. And he nails it. 2 through 10. Didn't get the wild adjustment, so it's 9-6. Virginia on top. So let's look at the playoffs to show you the path that these two teams made to get here. Oops, wrong one. That's last year's playoffs. Here we go. So 1st and 10. Quick out left to Ertz. That's going to be a completion for 10 yards. But Toledo took out Acme and Furden. That was a big upset over Furden. And Virginia took out Delta and myself, Tokyo. Delta's quarterback was Derek Carr. So he's taking care of Derek Carr and Russell Wilson. Now he's looking to take out Lamar Jackson. So Toledo has the ball. They just picked up another 12 yards on a slant to Foster Moreau. Curl to DeAndre Hopkins, double covered, incomplete. Let's see, that avoided a 13-yard completion if you would have been guessed correctly, but but not doubled. So 2nd and 10. Slant to Ertz. Another 10 yards, this time on a must run to Jackson. Down to the Virginia 43. He shows blitz out of the 4-3. Crossing pattern to Shepard. 11-yard pickup. Look at that card. So much good stuff. You don't mess around with a flat pass. Just throw short. Well, there's an occasional bomb, but short is just fine. Lots of good things can happen there. Pitch out to Sanders. It's guessed correctly, but it's going to be a 12-yard pickup on the T card. So 1st and 10 to the 20. Toledo, realizing that it was now or never time, they needed to get their offense going, and they have. Six minutes to go in the third quarter. Inside run to Sanders. Guessed wrong. It's going to be a 5-yard pickup. Now inside the red zone. Quick out left to Ertz. Going to pick up 9. 1st and goal at the 6. Quarterback sneak to Jackson. That's going to pick up 2 against the run call. That would have been a touchdown if he would call pass. 2nd and goal at the 4. Inside run to Sanders, and that's going to go nowhere. And Carlton Davis goes out, so that's the right cornerback for the Vipers, replaced by Trey Waynes. So at least he's got a 4 backup. 4-2-5 showing blitz. Curls to DeAndre Hopkins, double covered, incomplete. So Virginia makes a stand. And Toledo will have to settle for a field goal to tie it up. So tie game, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Just been a field goal fest. Two unfatigued runs left for Murray. It's a bomb to Hilton. Single cover, guessed right, but nobody's in the zone. Oh my goodness. He hits the 10. Long gain to Hilton, down into field goal range. Minshew has been hot in the postseason with those bombs. He hit one against me. Back-to-back bombs. He's run King. Murray. Nobody's in the zone. Guessed wrong. And he hits it. Touchdown. Virginia. Back-to-back bombs. Hilton carries the load. 2 receptions for 75 yards all on this drive. And just like that, Virginia's up on top against excellent pass defense. 16-9 now. Toledo will have to respond to that. Toledo's a little shook, I think. $16-9. Just like that. That was such a sudden strike. Back-to-back bombs covering the entire field. Pitch out right to Sanders. He's going to lose 2. Guessed right. Keith calling his butt off in this one. Slant to Ertz being double covered. It's a dump off for 10. That'll bring up 3rd and 2. Down and out to Sanders. That's going to pick up 11. Guessed wrong. So first down for Toledo. They're getting their offense going now. Curl to Hopkins. The must runs are not doing working the way that Brendon had hoped today. Second and 10. 3-3-5 defense. Crossing batter to Shepard, and that's going to be incomplete. He had double-teamed Hopkins and Ertz, which have been the two more popular receivers along with Sanders. So 3rd and 10. 4 wides. Just as I said, the offense was back in gear. They're struggling here and facing a 3rd and long. Crossing batter to Zay Jones, and just hits one. The only incompletion where nothing happens, must run or otherwise, on the quarterback's card. And he'll have to punt. Jamal Agnew calls for a fair catch at the 9. And now we need to see Toledo's defense. The Wolfpack section of the crowd is going crazy. They go to 3-3-5, and again, you're just going to see him run inside. And he gets a positive block from the center, Brian Allen, where he's only got 150 carry left. But David Montgomery has some too. Quick out. Left to Kittle, correctly double covered. It's going to still pick up 7. Minshew is hot. Inside run to Murray. That's his last on 50 carry, and it's a dreaded 5. Inside run to Montgomery. Guessed wrong. Only a 1-yard pickup, though. And that'll force Virginia to punt. 11:42 to go in the game. Time's running out. Is he thinking about going for it here? He would have made it on any other number except 5 or 6. Guessed wrong. Nope, he's going to punt it. It's blocked. Toledo with their second blocked punt of the day. What in the world? It wasn't even on the punter's card. That was just a 12. A white die 1 and a see up here, white 1 with the 12 on the punt die. It's an automatic punt no matter if the punter has a block on his card or not. So a sudden shift. Inside run to Sanders, guessed wrong. Guard +6 or +2, it's a touchdown. Wow, what a turnaround. Maybe that's why Virginia was thinking about so long about going for it. They had a feeling something bad was going to happen. And just like that, the game's tied. So we saw 2 sudden shifts. The back-to-back bombs by Virginia to get them the lead, and then the blocked punt, the second blocked punt of the day by Toledo, the Wolf Pack, going crazy. Look at the Wolves doing their thing. Virginia's done a good job on defense. The special teams have killed them. Held Toledo to 163 yards of offense, 11 first downs, and yet it's tied. And their best halfback has used up all his carries. Still has 4 decent ones. Murray, that is. So let's see what he does. He might go to a more flat passing. Yeah, 2 block punts and a Super Bowl. Yeah, there were some plays in the playoff game against Virgin. I think he had. Look at that for a second. Straight left to Montgomery. He's going to pick up a yard. There was a kick return touchdown and a punt return touchdown in the game against Virgin. So, and he won. So that's 14 points. He would have lost 13-9 without those big plays, possibly. So 3rd and 9 after an incomplete pass against 4-men in zone. So Virginia's not running the ball. They've switched back to more of a passing attack. Let's see what they can do here on 3rd down. That was a long pass attempt, and he had left the safety home. Crossing pattern to John Ross. And Minshew comes through with a clutch connection. 1st and 10, 9:18 to go in the game. Off tackle right loses 2 yards. Brandon Williams jams his toe. So that's that 5 left in. He'll be replaced by Ogba, I think. It was a 4-6. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's a 0-5, actually. He does have a 4 defensive end. Crossing pattern to Ross. And complete 4-men in zone against pass defense. 3rd and 12. Can Minshew come through with another 3rd down connection? Crossing pattern to Ross. He's going back to that well again. This time Minshew misses it, and it'll be a punt. 4th and 12. Andy Lee's already gotten blocked twice today. This one's not blocked. It's a 52-yarder. Is it Deontay Johnson's time to change the game with another quick strike? Oh, he decides not to return it. Interesting. You got a touchdown on 3. You got to check that out. Testing his offense. Lamar Jackson time. 16-16. 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. Inside run to Sanders. That's going to pick up 6. So Brendon's doing what I was encouraging Keith to do. Run the ball. Jackson's short pass guard, that was so devastating. Forget about the flat passes, man. Just throw it short. 3rd and 2. Button hook against the run call, and that's going to be a 15-yard pickup. Clutch 3rd down conversion. Is an injury on the play. Looks like Whitney Merciless, the right linebacker, is going to go out, and he's replaced by Well, that's pretty good replacement. Dante Fowler, 0512 star. That's not a bad guy to have in your back pocket. Time to bring him on some pass rushes. Goodness gracious. Where you been hiding him, Keith? Slanted Eckert hits that 5 again. The dreaded 5 works on runs, but it also works on Lamar Jackson's short pass card. Look for Fowler to get a big sack here. Got to bring that bad boy. 3-3-5 showing blitz. Miles Sanders in the backfield, 2 tights, 2 wides. Maybe a run call here for Toledo. Try to hit one of those big numbers. Sanders has on the edge, crossing pattern to Sterling Shepard, and he's bringing the house. It's a dump off for 13 to Hopkins. So Nick Taylor was the sack chance against Taylor Moton. Let's get the pass rush chart up. 4-3 defense, inside run to Sanders, guessed right, gets 5 yards. Second and 5, fourth quarter of the 2020 SFFDL Super Bowl. Square out left to Hopkins, correctly double teamed, and that's incomplete. 3rd and 5. Big play here. They're all big plays at this stage of the game. Will he show blitz? Will he flood the flats? How about an offense? We see a run here by Sanders. Will they go for a short pass? 4-3 not showing blitz against the 2 tight, 2 wides. It's a slant, and it hits a blank on Foster Moreau. The island of Dr. Moreau can't come down with a catch. And 3:54 to go in the Super Bowl. What do you do here? Do you punt? Do you go for it? He's going to punt. Try to get it out of bounds and pin Virginia deep. Coffin corner kick, and it's going to be inside the 5 and into the end zone. So Virginia will start at the 20. 16-16, 3:36 to go. They go with David Montgomery in a blocking back set. "3-3-5, off tackle right to Montgomery, looking to hit that plus 55 on 2, or plus 25 on 2, excuse me. The linebug has a plus 55 on 2. It's a 7-yard pickup. 2nd and 3, 3 minutes to go. So Keith wants to keep the chains moving, make sure that only he has a chance for a score, or the game will go into overtime. Screen left to Montgomery. That's going to be incomplete. You're giving Lamar Jackson a chance here if you don't pick up this 3rd down. I don't see anything wrong with keeping it on the ground at this point, especially against a 3-3-5 defense. Off tackle right to Montgomery. He does keep it on the ground, but it's the bailout 10 roll that I call it. Blocking back 0 or -2. 4th and 5, and he'll have to punt. Can we get a 3rd block punt in the Super Bowl? Not this time. It's a 58-yarder. Coffin corner style, not wanting to get Deontay Johnson's punt return on 3 in the game, but he wasn't returning it. He didn't want to fumble it. 2 minutes to go. A 4-3 against the 2 tights, 2 wides. Down and out to Sanders. 11-yard pickup. 1st down out to the 41. Three first downs away from getting into field goal range. He goes hurry up. Keeps that 4-3 defense on the field. end run to Jackson. We haven't seen any of those today. He's got a handful in his back pocket. That's going to be a 5-yard pickup. But that's a huge weapon. He hasn't used it all. 8 end runs left. Got to say that's a missed opportunity. Look at that Jackson card. Ooh-wee. All he needs is one of those to hit right now. Pitch out right to Sanders. He's going to pick up 5. That to midfield. Toledo uses their first time out. So really all you need to do is hit one of those end runs to Jackson, get us wrong. He's sticking with Miles Sanders, center plus 12 or plus 4. And oh my goodness, the 4 center, Daniel Kilgore, makes the block. Brendon says, I don't need those end runs by Lamar Jackson. I got Miles Sanders to run the ball. 1 minute to go in the game. 1 minute to go in regulation, I should say. 4-3 showing blitz. Screen left to Sanders. And there's 2 minutes in the zone. Nice call there by Keith. Incomplete, though. Or just 1 yard. Doesn't get the completion. 52 seconds. Got out of bounds. 36-yard line. At the edge of field goal range. Slant to Zach Ertz against the run call. That's a 12-yard pickup. He was worried about him doing that end run by Jackson. That's 12. Right, wrong, or doubled. Defense takes a timeout. They want to get the ball back with time to score if they can. Inside run to Sanders. Guessed wrong. It's going to pick up 4. Down to the 20. Let's take a look at Toledo's field goal kicker. Kai Forbath is shaky. 13 to the 22. 2 through 8, 11 and 12. He needs to get it inside the 12-yard line down that 2 through 11 chance. Goes to the full house. Inside run to Jordan Howard. That's going to lose a yard. He's a minimal fumble guy. Virginia used their last time out on 3rd and 7. So we'll see another run here, apparently. Inside run to Sanders. It's going to go nowhere. So here we go. 9 or 10. And Virginia lives on. Otherwise, it'll be Toledo as the Toledo Wolves as your 2020 SFFDL champion. Here's the snap and the kick. And he hit that 8, 9, 10. What do you know? You see, you can't trust kickers. So he had, not only did he, it would have been bad even at the better range, but he got pushed back by the variable field goal chance. So that is a big let off. Let's look at Toledo's card. So he was here in this range, 2 through 8, 11, and 12. But the variable pushed him back to this range. It was still a 9 either way. 9 or 10 would have done him in either way. But that time, then it was 8, 9, and 10. Makes it even worse. So you can't trust your kicker. You got to know your cards. Bomb to John Ross with a second left. And it's incomplete. And we'll go to overtime. 16-16. So everybody who had Virginia plus 10 is cashing in their tickets. Toledo minus 10, not so much. So that line was kind of bogus based on what the regular season had been. Just looking at the cards, I thought that would have been a fitting line, but Minshew's held his own with Lamar Jackson. Outplayed him to some extent. So here we go. Toledo will get the ball first in overtime. All of those Lamar Jackson end runs, and they haven't been used yet. He's got 8 in his back pocket. It's time to break those out. Some huge positive plays there if he wants to take advantage of them. Slant to Ertz. 25-yard must run by Jackson. It's the first time we've hit on a big one by Jackson today. And it's out to midfield just like that. Boston Scott checks into the game. Well, if that's true, then you should not have settled for that field goal chance. One more short pass, you would have been in great range. So let's see what he does this time. Inside run to Scott, and he fumbles it. Virginia takes over. Look at that. Why are you running with Boston Scott when he has a 98 chance, guessed right, out of 1,000? So yes, about 10% chance of a fumble. My, oh my. And run to Lamar Jackson there. What is this end run card? End run card on a 3 is plus 20. Incomplete there on first down. Guessed right, flat pass. Tyrell Williams was the target. I don't think Sanders is out of carries yet or anything. 3-3-5. Sideline left to Hilton. Only picks up a yard, so this ain't over by any means. But Brendon, use those end runs to Lamar Jackson. If you get the ball back, slant to Kittle, good double team there. Huge double team. And that's going to force the Virginia punt. And that's going to go out of bounds. So the fumble did not cost them. Miles Sanders has 1 on 15 carries left. So maybe he was worried about running out of carries. But again, you got Jackson with 8 end runs left. Just go Jackson end run versus Jackson short pass. $16-16, 12:36 to go. Curl to Hopkins is going to pick up 13. So Keith has that in the back of his mind that Brendon could use those end runs to Jackson. Toledo out to the 41. 4-3 showing blitz. Slant to Zach Ertz, and it's going to be a No 0-yard must run. 2nd and 10. End run to Jackson. End run to Jackson. Three-3-5 defense. And showing blitz. There's an 11-yard pickup. Oh, Tyke's here. Let's add him into the broadcast. What's up?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Does he forget that he has that card? That's crazy.
He ran one early in the game against me, and then I was calling run, and he must be fearing the fact that Lamar's card is not – it's not terrible called right, but –
Right. No, I just don't think he maybe realizes that that's such a big weapon. So, I mean, that is a huge.
Yeah, no, there's 18 chances of short gain or better, and some of them are gigantic.
Right. And to run the ball with Boston Scott, I don't think he understands about the fumble chances that guy gives you.
He dropped it on the ground 3 times versus me and kept all of them, I think.
Wow. Well, he lost the one here in overtime, but it didn't cost him. He does call some good defensive plays. Here's down and out to Sanders. But I just don't understand why he's not using that end run card. So it's just not part of his game. He just maybe doesn't realize how to call an end run. Maybe he's letting the computer call the plays. I don't know. Mm-hmm. His defensive calls have been great. His offensive calls, I think he's misusing Lamar Jackson. But that's just me. He's been unlucky on the must runs too. And incomplete. He'll have to punt again. So this could be we could be here a while here unless one of these teams gets a break.
How many carries left does Keith have with his running backs?
Well, he's got Murray's already into fatigue. Montgomery has
he's tired. I can see right there he's red, so he's pretty much out.
Well, he's got 4. He could still carry. Well, he's got 11 carries left with Montgomery.
So he does have carries left. All right.
Yeah. But he hasn't been running him. He's been trying to.
He's going to chuck it. Is that against the 0 here?
It is, but it's one man in zone. Guess right. Minshew's not the greatest deep passer. But yeah, and when he goes 3-3-5, I'd just be running it until he shows he's going to call run against that. Especially with Montgomery having a couple of big hits on the edges.
Well, that killed me in my game. I was running against that nickel, and I kept rolling like blocking back, or it was a killer. Yeah. That fumble I had at my 2-yard line was called wrong, and I rolled blocking back for -2 for that safety, and then he returned the punt on the safety punt back to back, 9 points.
That's crazy. That's like an instant lightning strike. We had that today in this one with back-to-back bombs to Hilton that hit for a touchdown. He had got halfway there. There's a curl to Tyrell Williams, single covered by a 6, and he'll have to punt again. I mean, you can only keep going so far against Lamar Jackson before he's gonna sting you. Even if you're not using the end runs, he's gonna get those must runs or just completed guess wrong. He's got
skates. Skates on 3.
See what happens. 20-yarder.
Oh boy.
So here we go.
Well, that's what happens when he's got to run at least one time there, probably.
Yeah, can Virginia hold him off again?
See if he runs the line buck with Sanders here.
No. Slant him a row for 15. So that's into.
He's almost at field goal range.
Yeah, and 4-bath is good deep, if you have to, but, you really need to get him inside.
He's got a huge miss. Yeah, he's got to get inside the 22. Boston is back in the game.
If he runs it with Boston, man, that's not good. Quick slant to Ertz, double teamed, and it's picked off. Virginia keeps pulling out these rabbits out of his hat. Staves off another field goal chance for the win. So what can they do on offense now? This is crazy. So many twists and turns in this one. Now, again, if you're Keith, just keep running it. Just run it until he calls run out of this formation.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's got that 0 in there at right end too. Well, bad roll. That's what was happening to me.
Yeah, and Brendon, I don't know if you heard my stuff earlier, but he's got Jalen Ferguson, who's a 5-4-6 outside linebacker that starts for him in a 4-3. You see him right there. But when he goes to the 3-3-5, for whatever reason, he's got Lorenzo Alexander subbed in there. So you have a 4 linebacker you can throw at as well. That's another
bad
run.
roll.
Well, that's not really his column. I don't know why he's doing an end run with Montgomery.
Oh, right. He needs to be off. What was he off tackle there? I didn't notice that.
I'll have to check it when it's done, but I know it's not. That's
right.
Not
Yeah, no,
column.
off tackle is definitely his column. I'll bet you he gets more than 2 there.
Let's look at it. So he is short game.
Shorty.
Crossing pattern to Hilton, single cover 4-man in zone, and Minshew comes through with a big third down conversion. Now you can bet Virginia will maximize their chances here and get it into good field goal range to give them a chance. They just need one more first down. Let's look at their field goal kicker.
He's got Butker.
So he just needs to get inside the 32, 2 through 10. Sideline left, 10-yard pickup, and he's down to 31. So he's already, barring a variable field goal adjustment, he's right where he needs to be. He just needs to run it a couple times with Montgomery up the middle. Now we saw Keith make some huge calls to stop Toledo's drives. Can Toledo do the same thing here?
Mm-hmm.
Can Brendon come up with a perfect defensive call to turn the ball over? It's a sneak to Minshew. And that's going to pick up a yard. Still got the danger of the variable field goal. So he needs at
least 3 or 4 just to really guarantee it. I don't remember how many yards.
It's
how many
5.
yards is that? 5? Okay.
Yeah, it can go +5 or -5. There he goes with that 3-3-5.
3 more yards. You got to call run here, even if he beats you with the pass. You got to call run.
He double teams Hilton correctly. Oh my goodness, that's a good call. If that would have been picked off, that would have been just perfect for this.
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. Would have.
So 3rd and 9. So now you're looking at maybe you go with the key here, thinking he's going to go Montgomery up the middle, trying to push him out to that risky field goal chance range.
He hasn't called run yet.
But he did earlier in the game call a key on Montgomery. Goes with a sneak. That doesn't do any good to drop a linebacker there. So here we go. Barring a adjustment of 5 +5, this is going to be 2 through 10 for the win. And Keith Mowbray and the Virginia Vipers are your 2020 SFFDL Super Bowl champions. Boom. I never would have guessed it. I just cannot believe that he pulled that off. I mean, Brendon did leave a lot on the table by not using those end runs to Lamar Jackson, but still, the difference in cards and defensive cards and offensive cards, I thought for sure that this was going to be Toledo's game. But there you go. Just shows you never want to just give up on a season. If you or I had Gardner Minshew as our main quarterback, I'm not sure if we would have gone for it.
He just never turned the ball over. Minshew, that was his huge advantages, is he just never ever turned the ball over. I just don't think he it was very difficult to get the ball out of him all year. I don't even know.
Yeah, let's look at his stats for the year. Get rid of this. Yeah, he threw 10 picks, but yeah, that's pretty low.
One every two games, and only 1 lost fumble all year.
That's crazy. Only 9 fumbles total and only 1 lost fumble.
Yeah, I mean, he should have lost half of them, but he only lost 1, and then only 10 picks. So, I mean, 11 picks. Heck, I can do that in a game.
And look at the number of interceptions he got. He picked off his opponents 27 times. That's probably leading the league right there.
He was plus 20 in turnovers. So, I mean, the lack of turnovers was just the difference for him. You just could never, ever get the ball out. And actually, that's what's crazy about Lamar Jackson is because his pick is only on 12.
Yeah, you had excellent pass defense, and you only got 15 interceptions.
Yeah.
So he was really fortunate with the turnovers. But congratulations to Keith. Really fun. Good season. Nice wrap up. So I think that we both feel like we could have been coming home with the championship, but it's good to have some new blood in there, and I'm happy for Keith.
It's the first time in 10 years that you or I haven't been in I looked at it earlier, 2011.
Let's take a look at the website.
One of the two of us has been in the finals.
So here is the championship. So yeah, a lot of Tokyo and Ferdinand in there. Even last year when, or 3 years ago when Mark won it, he was playing one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, down to the back of when you were the Brighton River Dogs. That was the year before that was the last time one of us wasn't in the game. So cool stuff. So we'll have a new helmet there.
The must-run guys are tough, I'm telling you, because I won it with Robert Griffin the first year that I had it, and then Tannehill last year, which the must-runs were kind of the difference on that card and trying to avoid things. So, and you've had Wilson. They make a difference.
They certainly do. Let me see if either of these guys can come on.
All right, I'm going to blaze back to work. But
yeah, I'm going to probably do the same. But just in case they come on, I'll have a quick post-game interview. But thanks for joining me, Tyke. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks,
Take care.
Dennis. Bye.
Thanks. All right, we got Brendon, but it looks like you don't have a microphone, Brendon. I do have a question. Maybe you can just you can type it here in chat. So why didn't you use Lamar Jackson's must run or end runs more? That's one of the things that Tyke and I were wondering, because that's a huge weapon. Got Keith on here. Hey, Keith.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ooh.
That was quite a game. That interception there to stop him from getting another field goal chance was huge. Just so many twists and turns in that one.
I just had a feeling I'd been double teaming his running back, Moreau and Hopkins to minimize the damage. I just had a feeling he'd been going to Ertz just about any time. Like, so I gave. That's why I double teamed Ertz. I just had a feeling he might get to him again because he'd been killing me with him all night.
So were you surprised that he didn't use Lamar Jackson more as a runner on the end runs?
Very much so, yeah. I just kept waiting. I just knew he was going.
He had one, and that was the only one I remember.
Yeah.
I just think that he maybe isn't used to using that as part of his attack plan because Lamar gets so many runs on the must runs. But that end run can be a devastating weapon, especially as you run out of carries. The fumble he had on Boston Scott, Scott's a fumbler, so that's one of the big problems there. You had called run on that one. It needed like a 10% chance for a fumble.
When I saw him put him in, I knew from playing him early in the season that Scott had a high fumble number. So I had a feeling he might run him, but I sure hell didn't think I'd get a fumble out of it.
Yeah, then force a fumble and get it back. We were just
Right.
talking, Tyke and I, before he jumped off, that you were really good with the turnover differential this year in the regular season. You had, a crazy amount of interceptions, and you only had 9 fumbles, and you only lost 1 all year.
Right.
And you threw 10 interceptions, but you got 27. You picked off 27 passes. Do you remember that it was a lot of correct double teams, or was it mostly just landing on the D cards on the good pass D, or a little bit of both?
It is a little bit of both. I was very lucky just having a feel sometimes in games and double teaming and maybe get a pick here and there because of double teams, but it was mostly, split down the middle. It wasn't me being a genius guessing the right guy every time, I can tell you that.
I don't know. You made some really good calls in this one, and against me in the previous game. So, obviously you weren't expecting to get 2 blocked punts in the game. How did you feel about those when those happened? How did you collect yourself to come back and attack it again?
Yeah, it was. They were definitely gut wrenchers. I think he got a field goal off the first one and a touchdown off the second one. So, I mean, yeah, it was tough. I just figured, just got to keep playing and plugging along.
Yeah,
And luckily, to hold him to 16 points, I mean, I would have never, I'd have bet money, everything I had, that he would score at least 25, 30 points.
Well, you beat him like 34-16 in the regular season. Do you remember much about that game?
Yeah, it was a lot of lucky rolls on my part and bad ones on his. You know how you get some of those games where it seems like everything's either going your way or against you? Yeah. That's kind of how that game was earlier in the year. And to be quite honest with you, I've had several games like that. It just seemed like I got all the rolls, good breaks, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I mean, this team is okay. My running backs are nothing special. It hasn't been because of my coaching. I'm telling you, it's been a lot. I've had a lot better teams that had I got the breaks and the rolls that I got with this team this year, I would have won a lot more games. But it's just been one of those seasons that it seems like everything's rolled my way. I mean, you were talking about the interceptions and fumbles. I mean, that's a prime example right there. I mean,
Sure.
Who goes through the season only losing 1 fumble?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that sometimes you just get like when on the start of the broadcast, I said this really should be like Toledo -10 because they're just the cards are so much better. And I was wondering if Cinderella would, she would turn back into a pumpkin, when it came to midnight. But you never had that. You made it all the way through the season. This just shows you should always make a run for a championship if you have decent defensive cards, because your offensive talent isn't great, but you're able to do what you need to do to move the ball down the field and not turn it over and came up with a championship. So that's really impressive, Keith. I think you're selling yourself short by saying it wasn't coaching. I think coaching had a lot to do with it, and I think it's really cool. Good for the league. We have a new champion. Tyke mentioned, he told me that this is the first time in 10 years that either him or I were not in the Super Bowl. So it was good to get some new blood in there, and nice to have a new champion in SFFDL. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't really know what to say, but it was just one of those seasons that, it just seemed to roll that way.
Well, you can't complain about that. So I'm really, really, really happy for you, and I'm going to post this up so everybody can watch it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Keith, take care, and I want to ask you one quick thing before we go. Injuries. How do you feel about like what we do in Saliva, getting rid of injuries for the playoffs? Do you like having injuries? Because they certainly played a part. You lost a key player in your right tackle, and he lost a key player in his cornerback. But I'm not sure I'm a fan of injuries in the playoffs. I'm okay with them in the regular season, but in the playoffs, I kind of want to just see what the teams do. What do you feel about that?
I mean, my tackle, I wasn't as bothered about him as I was at linebacker. Yeah, he was only a 4, but one third of the time you can get a stop.
Yeah, but I thought that was going to work out well for you because a couple times you brought the house. If the matchup would have been high linebacker against the guard, you would have gotten the sack like 70% of the time or 60% of the time. That Dexter Fowler didn't come into play, but I thought that's a nice backup to have in your back pocket.
Right, but he did abuse him a couple times passing against him. So that,
sure.
So for me, I'd like to have him for third down purposes, but.
Would you be okay if we got rid of injuries for the playoffs?
I kind of like the injuries. Now, the same thing with penalties. I voted for penalties. It just adds a little extra to the game. It makes it more realistic to me,
Gotcha.
So as realistic to the game as it can be, that's what I'm for. So
all right. Well, maybe I shouldn't throw such a big deal about it, but I do think we'll probably vote on it again.
Yeah.
I just think that Strat's injury system is so flawed. The guys who never got hurt during the regular season get injured, and I don't like that.
Right. Well, and I can see it's too bad that it can't be broke down like for guys that's never injured and played every game, every snap, that maybe they get injured, but for only, half a quarter or something like that. But I know, it'd take a miracle to get something like that,
Programmed in, yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to have to come up with a suggestion for stuff like that. So, all right. Well, I better get back to work. So thanks a bunch, Keith. I appreciate it. And congratulations again.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate
it. Take care.
Yes, sir. You too.